Hey everybody, I wanted to give an update on using the MacBook Pro 13-inch with the M1 chip. I was going to do an unboxing, but there was hundreds of videos almost on YouTube about that already. So I just wanted to wait a little bit and do a video whenever I felt I had enough data to inform potential buyers of what to expect from this laptop. So this is the 13-inch Pro, as I said. As you can see, I've got a magnetic USB-C with the Hyper dongle back there, and then of course it's charging. So highly recommend getting a Hyper dongle. They're $200. They're really high. But if you want dual monitors, it's a must-have. It also, supports USBs, SD card, audio. It's just got all your ports. And with the MacBook Pro only having two USB-C ports, you're just kind of limited on your expansion. So here I have open the activity monitor. You see the CPU load isn't that high. Of course, there was a spike right there. I was doing some downloads and stuff. Here's memory pressure. So there's the MacBook screen, and then here's my middle screen. I believe it's like a 27-inch monitor. It might be a little bit bigger than that, but I'm updating. I'm actually updating Android Studio right now, so. As you can tell, like, I'm able to just do things that I would normally do, which I'm a mobile app developer, so developing mobile apps is what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I'll talk more about that in just a second. So you can see we can come back over here to CPU load. Of course, we're doing work now, so it's going to increase load a little bit, but it's not struggling at all. I'm doing quite a bit right now. I have Amazon Music open. I have downloads going. I have some code going. The simulator over here is running. Again, mobile app. And I'm fixing to fire up a second emulator. Simulator's already going, so I have two instances of VS Code open because I'm connected to my remote server. And then I've also got MySQL Workbench up. So with that being said, my web server is running on it's a tiny PC. I think it's an M92P. So it's running elsewhere. I'm not running a database on here. I'm not running my web server. The only thing that I'm running is the simulator, usually just the simulator. Sometimes the simulator and the emulator, and I always have two VS Code application, two instances open of that application. Amazon Music is always open. Slack, I use Slack for messaging. That's open quite often, and then Postman. With all those applications, I've had those applications all open at one time, and this thing has never hiccuped. I will say that the Android emulator has crashed a few times. It's not from resource contention. It just seems that the Android emulator is a little bit buggy with the M1. But at the same time, I used to have an Intel MacBook, actually a few weeks before I had this one, and the Android emulator seemed a little off there as well. As a matter of fact, many developers that I know will actually choose to use a physical device over the Android emulator on a MacBook because it's just not very fast. It's not very good. Whereas the simulator, it's an Apple product, so it works well on Apple devices, as does any Apple product. So if you're thinking about getting the 13-inch for a light to medium workload, you should have zero concerns. I do not do any video editing. I don't do any rendering. I don't do any gaming. Purely running simulators and emulators, and then some other resource intensive applications. But I use this every day. It's small enough that I can pack it to my couch without feeling overwhelmed. And as you can see, there's another. This is a 16-inch underneath here. It's also the M1 chip, so it's a lot beefier. The 16-inch is a work laptop, so it's provided to me by my work. It's not mine. I don't do my personal work on here. All my personal work stays on my personal laptop. And so with this one, with the smaller one, I like the portability, but I will say with the 16-inch, if I need to go somewhere and get work done, the 16-inch is way better because the screen real estate is amazing. The extra 3-inch size, 2.7, whatever it may be, it's in your face, and it's so much better than the small screens. I am much more likely to get applications side by side on the 16-inch, whereas the 13-inch, I'm just minimizing and going to the next application. So if you do a lot of work away from a desk, I would recommend the 16-inch. But if you just need some portability every once in a while, like I do, get the 13-inch, spend the money on a hyper dongle, and you will be happy. Another comment on that, I saw a lot of things online about you have to download, I think it's DisplayLink to support multiple monitors. Hyper does away with that. You don't have to have that. There is an application that runs in the background, but it seems pretty light from what I've seen. It's over here on the system monitor somewhere. It's right there. We're running about 3.5 CPU. So, I mean, minimal impact to the operating system. So, yeah, pretty happy with this. I'm not really an Apple fan, so it goes without saying that I'm complimenting these products, just because I come from a Windows environment. But when you're doing mobile app development, the best thing to have is a MacBook, because you cannot build iOS apps without an Apple OS. So that's my high level overview. Some of it was kind of technical. Hopefully this will help somebody out. And hope you guys enjoyed.